So the topic today that I'll be discussing is the distinction between inpatient and outpatient surgery and procedures, and why it's so important for hospitals to get this right in order to avoid RAC takebacks, because this has been a major focus of the RAC audits. Going back in time to the RAC demonstration project, which started in 2005, there's some interesting information that can be gleaned from this report, the report on that program, which still applies today. This is from MLN Matters, produced by CMS from the Medicare Learning Network, talking about the demonstration project and the denials that took place because of lack of medical necessity for the setting billed. At that time, they were not looking at the medical necessity of procedures, but what they said is that the denials occurred because the medical documentation didn't have sufficient accurate information to support the level of care, and several other things as well, but primarily they were looking at the level of care. Now this is the report on, again, on the demonstration project, 2005 to 2008, which occurred in 6 cities, and 6 states, excuse me, and they gave us some fairly detailed information. And it's interesting to look at this now because the information we're getting from CMS today on the current program is not as detailed, although we're finding in our reports that the issues are really the same. So looking at the top 10, this is the top 5 of the top 10 reasons for the improper payment denials from the demonstration project. Defibrillator implants and pacemakers were 2 of the top 3 reasons for these denials. And as I said, we're still seeing this today. Looking at the next 5, number 6 was vascular procedures. So these were procedures that were done on an inpatient basis, and the RAC in the demonstration project was saying that the documentation didn't support the need for an inpatient stay for these procedures, which are technically outpatient procedures. Now I'm going to be talking a lot about the distinction between the two and how you can tell which is what. Not only for these specific procedures, but other procedures and also for surgery, because the admission for surgery that should be done on an outpatient basis is a very similar parallel issue, and also leading to a lot of RAC denials. You can see number 20 on the list for the demonstration project was cardiac PCIs. Now we have more current data coming from the American Hospital Association. The AHA has been running a self-reporting program called RAC Track since the RAC program started on a national basis in 2010. At this time, they have almost 2,200 hospitals reporting, and this is a voluntary quarterly reporting, and I've been encouraging every hospital I speak to get to enroll with the AHA and become a reporting facility, because this is the most detailed information we get about the RAC program, and it's really important for hospitals to know what's going on so they can be prepared and they can make sure that they're not going to get denials. The main reason for these denials that we're still seeing is the medically unnecessary admissions, and these are generally one-day stays where care was provided according to the RAC in the wrong setting, not because the care provided was not medically necessary. Now, we are seeing medical necessity denials coming from the MACs in the prepayment review programs that have been implemented in many of the jurisdictions. But the RAC, up until now, has not been focusing on that primarily. It certainly didn't during the demonstration project. But now they're looking at the medical necessity for medical admissions, and they're also looking at the medical necessity for outpatient procedures that are done in an inpatient setting. Looking across the country at the various RAC regions, this is information that's been collected from those hospitals. And what we're seeing, since we're specifically looking at Region B here, you can see compared to other regions that the medical necessity denials for short stays were 57%, which puts Region B at a low end. Another 10% for other medically unnecessary admissions, so we're at 67%, and around 70% has been the rate for medically unnecessary admission denials by RACs quarter after quarter. So this is really nothing new. It's just some slight changes from one quarter to the next. As far as the top reasons for the denials reported by hospitals, this information is not reported by region, but you can see that for all the hospitals reporting across the country, that the PCI is the second most common reason for complex denials. These are reviews that are based on a complete review of the medical record. That's what a complex denial is, as opposed to a computer review. So these all require a reviewer to look at the chart and determine whether there was medical necessity to perform this procedure on an inpatient basis.